The day that Zac died, there was a huge and sudden storm. The kind that creeps in without warning, comes at you fast, and leaves in an instant. As I was saying goodbye to my love, the clouds came, the earth shook, and the thunder rumbled. 1 year and 8 days after being diagnosed with cancer, Zac stepped into eternity. Ever since I was a little girl, I asked God to bring me the perfect husband. Zac and I met in the fall of 1994, and after 4 years of dating, we got married. We added to the joy in our lives by having our only girl, Lizzie Darling. And then, 19 months later, God blessed us with our first boy, Jake. But our family wasn't complete there. We then had our cherry on top, Luke. We were a perfectly happy family of 5. When Zac died, I was wrecked. In an instant, I had lost my husband, my best friend, and an incredible father. My world had changed forever. My identity in the past 17 years had been so much about who I was with Zac. He was my everything. Even though he dealt with a year-long battle of cancer, it seemed all so sudden. And now the kids and I were left to learn how to grieve. We spent the next few months trying to figure out what this life without Zac was supposed to look like. His absence was overwhelming. I prepared way too much food at dinner, not remembering that he wasn't there to eat it with us. One side of the bed always stayed made. There was no one to sleep in it. His chair sat empty, and I no longer heard the sounds of him and the kids playing while watching TV. We were now a family of 4. Grief is so hard. No one can tell you how you are going to feel or when it will strike. But God is so good and so faithful. He has given hope to our family. Hope for today when we grieve and all of the tomorrows that are yet to come. God has shown hope to my family through circumstances, gifts of goodness, and through the promises in His Word. Zac and the boys were always such huge Broncos fans. And in October, we had the opportunity to fly to Denver, Colorado, and get to meet 2 of the Broncos players, Tim Tebow and Britton Colquitt. This was such a dream come true for my boys. And then in November, Family First Organization flew us to Tampa Bay, Florida, to receive the All-Pro Dad Award from Tony Dungy. It was so awesome to see my kids receive a standing ovation in honor of their dad. It was such a blessing to see how Zac's story and suffering blessed others. But even after the incredible experiences God has brought to us and through the love and support that we've received from family and friends, God ultimately shows His goodness to us through the promises in His Word. Jeremiah 29:11 tells us that God has a plan for us, and that plan is to prosper, and it's for hope, and it's for a future. I tell my kids this all the time. God is not a God of chaos. He doesn't just throw stuff to us in our lives and then walk away. He has a plan for us. We might not always understand that plan, but we know that it is good. There are some days that are really hard, and yes, times are tough. But God reminds us of His goodness through the promises in His Word. God shows hope to people in different ways. What's been my experience might not be yours. But I can tell you this, if you desperately seek and run after Him, He will make Himself known to you. As Zac's soul left the earth and went to where it was meant to be, I looked out the window, and as the storm cleared, the sun began to shine through the clouds. It was then I realized that he was healed. He was no longer in pain. At that moment, God gave me hope. God knew that I would be a widow and mother to 3 at the age of 32. Why did He allow this to happen? I don't have all the answers, but I do know that I will praise God, because through cancer and death and grief, God is still God, and God is still good. To God be the glory.